Very practical conversation today. The thought for the day is, I need to talk. If a person ever came to you saying that, whether that person was your child, your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, peer, colleague, employee, business partner, we need to position ourselves internally to listen. We're listening to understand, not to respond. Y'all, we had a tendency to be problem solvers, fixer-uppers. And sometimes in certain situations, that's not the strategy. My colleague and I were in a conversation earlier this week, and she shared with me, based on what I was sharing with her concerning my personal life, Mr. Cage, are you providing support or solutions? There are times that we must provide support. Support means I'm listening to understand your experience, your situation, your circumstance. Though I may have never experienced what you're experiencing, I may have a similar experience, or I may not have a similar experience. But I tell you what, there's a probability that I felt that same emotion that you're feeling. And I can connect with that because I have a sense of emotional intelligence. In some situations, you all, we will never be able to identify with that person's experience because that person's experience may be authentic because they're experiencing, I'm experiencing. Though we may have a similar experience to connect, we may not be able to understand it in its totality because we're not that person. Let me say this in terms of culture, in terms of color. This conversation, I've heard this said before, that a white person doesn't know how it feels to be Black. And guess what? They don't. And guess what? We don't know how it feels to be white. But guess what? We have similar experiences. So there are areas, and I'm speaking in general, there are areas, because I won't give you specifics because that'll lead me into an example. And generally speaking, there are ways, pathways that we can connect with one another and share a similar experience. Though that experience may not be exact, we all have similar experience. So let me give you this part before I go into solution-based. My colleague and I were sharing in the conversation, person is a female Caucasian. I'm a male African-American. We had a similar experience because we both came from dysfunctional homes. It gave us a connection base where I understood what she said, she understood what I said, not in the totality, but in the having a similar experience. We were able to jump over cultural barriers and connect as humans. We connect as humans. So when a person is coming to us saying they need to talk, we need to listen to understand their experience. Though we may not be able to mirror that specific experience, we may have a similar one, but I guarantee you this, if we have any sense of emotional intelligence, how we felt in the moment of trauma, how we felt in a moment of achievement, how we felt in a moment of victory, we can connect with that person on the basis of feelings and emotions. Let's jump over to solutions. There are times where we will have to provide solutions. But check this out. You can provide solutions and guide a person to a solution by asking a question. The person may come to you and you may listen first to understand. Now it may be time for you to give them an answer, but you got to discern that in your inner being, in your spirit, man. Can't do it in your logic because your logic is limited to the interpretation of natural experiences. You have to be connected spiritually and use that inner man that is inside of every male and female in the world. When that does happen, you can hear if you need to give them a blueprint, and I say a blueprint, or ask a question. Many times, well, let me not say many, there are times where a question will open up the door to the answer that is already inside the person, because the answer may be inside, but they may not be able to perceive it or understand it. What we don't want to do is build an experience where that person gets in the habit of coming to us to get answers. That becomes what I call babyism, pacifying, keeps a person immature in who they are, and it keeps them in what we call arrested development, a person that is aging chronologically and not maturing or growing in their maturity. And it becomes very toxic because that person will keep coming to us and keep coming to us and keep coming to us. And the song is, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. No, we want you to grow up in terms of your maturity, but we have to set a platform or experience for you to grow. It does not happen if I have any form of insecurity in who I am, because that means I have to be in control of that situation and I have to lead, and I turn into the solution, not a person that's providing a solution or a person that's leading that individual into the solution that is already in them. There are times where we have questions or conversations, we ask questions. Through our conversation, through our questions, that person will position themselves to manifest that answer. And prayerfully and hopefully they don't think that it just came from them, because it was birthed through conversation. Both parties exchange information. One party may have asked a question, and then the revelation of light came. Oh, well, I didn't see it that way. I'll go in that, I'm gonna go in that direction, because we listen first to understand. And we identified if we were going to be a support or if we were going to be a solution. If we're going to be a solution, we can provide a solution, provide an idea, provide a suggestion, or merely ask questions. So if you see me in the streets, if you talk with me on the phone and I tell you I need to talk, that means we need to listen. Let's go. We'll talk very soon. And when we talk, somebody must listen.